the banner. It's got the old spelling.
Hey guys, how are you? Talking about the market, how it's going, what a year. We are not going to give you numbers, 123 people through open house, 67 contracts out and stuff like that. We're going to tell you exactly how it's going at the moment so you know. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Berger, Mark Novak, talking about the market, the consensus out there, but not with numbers. So I think there are a lot of people who would like that. Mark, take it away. I just got to update the spelling.
Make it change. Yeah, look, it's. I'd imagine it's quite frustrating because what we love to do is often, how's the market going? Oh, there's been 67 people through my open house. There's been 12 contracts out. There's been 9 offers made on the properties. Like, what does that mean? And I think a lot of people, I love everyone's feedback today on what you're seeing in the marketplace. But I think it's been a very interesting year. A great word that I've been using at the moment is it's a new level. So it's a new level because a lot of people are saying, shit, we're hearing the market's deteriorated a little bit with interest, and then does that mean price is going to go down? We're saying no. The market's just found a new level now. And good morning, Luke Moroney. Good morning, Sean Sven's daughter. Good morning, Legend. And hi, Ngawi. I'd love to know how to say Ngawi. Let me know how. Gerard and Luke. Yep, Legend. It's a new level. The market. It's the next level. It's a new level that we're seeing in the market. Prospective purchases that are out there. There's less attendees that we're seeing what we normally would see in the last quarter of the year. Funding is getting a little bit easier for people, so that's good news. We're starting to see that filter through where people can get loans. First home buyers, we're starting to see still around, still doing deals. People upgrading, we're starting to see people are getting comfortable with doing that upgrade. And you know what? It's actually quite an exciting market for people because it's a little bit easier to do a transaction because instead of having to do a transaction in 3.5 seconds, they can take a week or two to get stuff done. And because that steam is out of the market a little bit, it's a more comfortable transactions for buyers and sellers at the moment. How are you going on your updates, Burge?
Yeah, all good. And I think a key thing is where a lot of people miss out on context when they're giving numbers. So that's one thing I'm really always weary about whenever I hear numbers or people say numbers. And I think as a buyer, you also want to question it as well. And what I mean by that is like an agent goes, I had 20 people through the open home, best campaign ever. And you're like, well, what's that in relation to? Like, would this property last year get 5 people through the open home? Did it used to get 40 people? I find, a lot of people throw out numbers to sort of help paint a narrative with what they're trying to say, but I think context is missing. And that's where you almost rather just know numbers and just tell me how it's going, because then you're only going to give me numbers to paint one picture, or you're going to give me a statement with a set of numbers, but there's no context with the numbers. So I think that's just one thing. It would make it very hard for a buyer as well to just sort of know what's the context behind those numbers and what does it really mean? Because you could say 5 people through that open home, the market is booming, and then the same person could say only 5 people through this open home, the market's crashed. But give me context. And I think that agents miss out on that a lot in all marketing they do. And I think it's key to offer some context. And sentiment is key.
Yeah, big time. And I always find it interesting, guys, because there's a measure in the market called buyer sentiment. And that's sort of how people feel. And how the hell do you measure that? how people feel, but it is the most important measure. If people are hurt, bitten, and by the property market, they will lose confidence and not convince friends and family to move forward. So buyer sentiment is a really, really good one, Burge. It's a really, really good one.
Think about
very,
it. When
very
people are
important.
at the family barbecue with friends on the weekend, they're not, and people go to each other, how do you think the market's going? They're not whipping out numbers going, oh, they got 30 buyers through here, the clearance rate was this, blah, 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 blah. They're just basically going to go on their anecdotal evidence going, I went to the open home, there was a lot of people there. The agent said they had a lot of offers, or properties are selling quick. I see it online. I see a signboard go up, and then I see a sold sticker. Like, that could have been on the market for an actual long period of time, but people just go off their perception. Sentiment and perception are key. That changes before you see any changes in numbers, in clearance rates or anything. There's probably like a lead way through there.
I've just walked into the office. I've just met you, and my first question is, hey, Michael. I know, I'm at a barbecue on Sunday. Hey, Michael, how's property going?
Yeah, and I always try and, at least before even address a question, like, what sector of property? I'm like, oh, the residential market, commercial.
Okay. So genuine question. Here we go. I'm at a barbie. Michael, how's the market going?
Yeah. So, John, are you looking more from a seller's point of view? Are you looking to buy residential or commercial? And no, residential, we own up the road. And then then
so I'm not looking at buying or selling, just interested. How's it going out there?
Yeah, resi or commercial. I have to get that answer. It's pretty
residential.
Let's say it's residential, and be like, the market's still very super strong. Where we've just had massive increase over the last couple of months, and we're probably going to see that to sort of plateau out, but not plateau out at the original level, plateau out at the new level, which will give buyers a bit more certainty on the selling price, so they know what to buy, and also sellers a lot more confidence that a property will sell for what the agent is guiding.
How's rentals going?
Rentals it's still weak for Northern Beach's standard, but it's still super strong. Like, if someone was to tell you your unit's going to take 3 weeks or 4 weeks to rent, you're going to you start marketing 2 weeks prior, and it's only empty for 2 weeks. You're like, that's great. But from an agent's point of view, there's a big difference between 4 weeks, full lease, and 2 weeks. It is taking a little bit longer to get properties rented. There hasn't been the surge like we've seen in sales into rental prices, so it's still pretty level, if not down a little bit from 12 months ago, but it's still very strong. You're not going to be people, as soon as you say something negative, they think, oh no, it's going to be empty for 6 months if I buy an investment. It's definitely not that.
Hey, Michael, do you think the market's going to go down or up in the next 6 months?
Steady. It should plateau out. We've had, steady. New level. I believe we'll be here.
That's a show.
Yeah.
That's a show.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it is, guys and girls. So I think if you're looking around, and it's the most favoured question in the marketplace towards a real estate agent, and we've tried so hard not to give you an analytical one, and we've tried so hard to give you one that doesn't have, what did you use as referencing, Michael? It doesn't have perspective, on that. But hopefully that's interesting for people out there. I think it's very important. New level is a great word in the market. Jennifer's loving it. And also I can now say, nah, here we go. Nah, nay. No so, way. Nay, Gerard. There you go. Nay. Yeah. Did I get that right, Nay? So Nay's a big supporter, and now I know how to say your Christian name perfectly, hopefully. Yeah. So Luke Moroney, consumer confidence key. How do they feel? Happy or sad? You know what? It's the most important reference, I reckon, in the entire marketplace. It's beyond interest rates. It's beyond price rises or prices going down. It's that core of the way our community feels about property. Very big on consumer confidence.
And I'll give you a real life working example with that, because people will be like, oh, it doesn't matter how you feel. But how about this for a running scenario? Clearance rates, 95%, things are going crazy. You as an agent, you talk to 20 buyers and they're all like, this is a dreadful experience. I've missed out on this. I'm hating this at the moment. I'm thinking about, I'll probably stop looking. I'll stop looking for 2 months. So data paints a booming market. Buyer sentiment is dreadful. And if anything, they're going to stop looking to buy. Then 4 weeks later, auction rates drop 20, 30%. So exactly what I said before, sentiment comes before the numbers. And with what Luke is saying, confidence is key. Ask people how they feel, because the numbers were great in that example. And it's a real life example. This is what's happening right now in the marketplace. So.
And to support what you've just said and what Luke said, if I was a buyer and I'd seen, and I'm like, okay, the market is now, it's at a new level. That's all. That's what's happened in the market. It's at a new level. So level meaning it's sort of tapering off a little bit. It's not going down. It's not going up. It's sort of leveling out. The interest is leveling out. Now, to back up what you just said, Michael, new level, on the back of new level, if I was a buyer, I would say that is awesome. My sentiment, if I was a buyer or seller in the marketplace, and even as a real estate agent, I'm actually happy that the market's at a new level, because if it had continued to do what it did the last 12 weeks, the next 12 weeks, I would be shitting myself. And my consumer confidence or my confidence would not, it's too much. So the new level that the market's at now is great, and it's going to help with that market confidence that we've been talking about. The consumer confidence.
Thank you. That'll be easiest for us to pronounce. We can manage that one. Thank you.
I think that means I stuffed it up. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
We appreciate you watching, and we understand how annoying it would be if you're taking time to watch it. When we reference your comments, we pronounce your name wrong. So we're very mindful of that. We appreciate everyone watching. Thank you.
And also, guys, get on. We just talk about new content moving ahead for the next quarter. If you guys have got some, and changing the format of the show, if you guys have any ideas where we can improve our show, no offense, we're happy to listen to what you've got to say. Let us know if you want a shorter show, a longer show, a less consistent, more consistent, whatever that may be. More guest speakers, less guest speakers, different industry. Love to know your feedback, guys, and to what you want to see.
Yeah, please do, because we're up to like 429 episodes, so we'd like to know what you would like to see for the next 400 episodes, and or not see or see. Let us know.
Yeah, and I really, hand on my heart, hope that we've helped people with those 400 odd shows. So cheers.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
All right, guys, take care.